ministry that saves most families about $500 a month. Google MediShare and see if it's a fit for you.
Jeff Malden, GM, Bert Ogden, Subaru. Kia and Subaru, they're very popular with our Winter Texan families. Why is that, Jeff?
Well, I was kind of surprised what I've come to understand in talking with them as far as like our Kia brand is concerned, because of the outstanding warranty that they come with a 5-year, 60,000-mile limited warranty, and then a 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain warranty. A lot of them really like that and peace of mind and that coverage, plus price points. A lot of these cars are very inexpensive, and a lot of these visitors are on budgets, and they don't want to spend money that they don't have to. These are retirees. Most of these cars, like our Sportage, Souls, and things like that, they're small crossovers. They're more elevated than sedans, so they're easier to get in and out of. It's easier on their backs, hips, and knees, and things of that nature. Plus, there's plenty of room for them to carry another couple with them, because it seems inevitable that they travel in packs. They've got plenty of room to carry somebody else with them, and then them being crossovers, they've got room to fold down back seats and so forth and fill up all the stuff that they need when they go out shopping. For those reasons, I've noticed that the Kia is very popular, and then the Subaru, because a lot of them come out of winter climates. If they're going to travel back and forth and take the vehicles with them, it serves them well when they're back up north. If they're all-wheel drives, same logic. Crossovers, easier to get in and out of, lots of space. And again, a very, very high reliability and durability ratings on those Subarus. I see a lot of them at this time of the year in our service departments. We're glad to see them. We're glad that they patronize our dealerships and continue to buy our products.
Give me directions to Bert Ogden Subaru.
Bert Ogden Subaru is located at the corner of U.S. Business 281 and Trenton Road. We're easily accessible there. If you're coming up the expressway on 281, just exit Trenton and go west. Kia and Mazda dealership are located at the corner of Sherry Road and Expressway 83 here in Sherryland.
Visit BertOgden.com. Look for the Subaru brand. Visit BertOgden.com and choose your vehicle.
From the R Communications Broadcast Center in McAllen, Texas, this is the News Talk 710 KURV Special.
Who's that special?
This is KURV Community Special Edition, powered by Bert Ogden and Fiesta dealerships of the Rio Grande Valley.
We have a very special guest.
Here's Sergio Sanchez.
Appreciate you checking in. I'm Sergio Sanchez, along with Davis Rankin, Zach Cantu, our producer Joe Salinas. This is a nature and winter tourism KURV special news program focusing on one of the big engines of economic activity in the Rio Grande Valley up to now. And we were asking in the studio, so what happened to all the birders and birding and winter Texan tourism and the butterfly festival, all those things, and then conventions, special activities? Yeah, what happened was COVID-19. So let me introduce our guests. I'll let them do a 60-second quick introduction of themselves, tell you what they do for a living and their specialty. And I know for many people in the Rio Grande Valley, folks that are working all sorts of trades, it is amazing how when we talk about birding and birding festivals and nature festivals and activities, how it's new to many folks in the Rio Grande Valley. First time they've never realized how big of an economic impact the nature tourism industry, the impact it has in the Rio Grande Valley. So let me start with Sue Griffith, is with the Rio Grande Valley Birding Festival. Sue, tell folks in about a minute who you are, and tell me real quick, about a minute, the Rio Grande Valley Birding Festival. Will expand on that and here in just a few minutes. So tell folks who you are, Sue.
Well, thank you very much. I'm Sue Griffin. I'm the chair of the Rio Grande Valley Birding Festival, and my background is varied. I was an educator, an IT project manager, and now I'm just volunteering at the festival as a retired Texan.
You've been doing this now. This was supposed to be the 27th year, right, for the Birding Festival in the RGV? Okay.
And I've been involved in about 23 of those years.
We envy where you're broadcasting from, the beautiful beach. Obviously, you're in Cancun somewhere. Robert Lopez. That's where our Facebook. By the way, we're on Facebook Live. If you'd like to join us online, you can post questions, comments there. Oh, and we welcome our friends and family, South Padre Island, Brownsville as well. They're on FM, Classic 92.7 FM. They'll be joining us at this hour. Robert Lopez, Director, Convention Visitors Bureau in McAllen. So how do you pay the bills, Baba? What do you do for a living?
Yeah, well, thank you for the introduction. Yes, my name is Robert Lopez, Vice President of Visit McAllen. We are the destination marketing organization for the city of McAllen. We're a department within the McAllen Chamber of Commerce, and our goal is to bring visitors to McAllen, whether it's for nature and birding or shoppers from northern Mexico, sports tourism, convention tourism, or for one of our many fabulous festivals and events that we have in the city. So our job is to fill up the hotels so that people come and spend their money at our retail stores and eat in our restaurants and provide an economic stimulus to the city.
Yeah, despite COVID-19, Robert actually has been very, very busy. He's going to share with us some of the information he shared with the folks in McAllen leadership and at the chamber. No, he's not just going out and getting Steve Elaine's lunch every single day. He's actually been very busy because the hotels have been busy in McAllen. Keith Hackland is the next person I wish to introduce to everybody. And Keith, friend, it's good to talk to you again. But don't make any sudden moves, Keith. You got a really, really big bird. It's a human-eating bird right behind you, as I can see on your Facebook page. So actually, Keith Hackland is owner of Alamo Inn. It's a bed and breakfast, and he is truly an expert when it comes to the birding industry in South Texas. So how'd you wind up from South Africa all the way over here, Keith? Tell the 60-second story real quick.
Hi. Yeah, Davis said, flapping his wings there, I flew. But the truth of it is that I was an exchange student here, 1967, 68. Made a lot of friends, and I came back in 97. I didn't have a job, so we tried to figure out what to do. We created a hotel for bird watchers, and we've been operating that for 20 years. We've had people from more than 40 different countries stay with us. Of course, this year is a little different.
Yeah, I understand. Christy Collier, welcome home, RGV. What is that, Christy? Who are you, Christy?
Well, my name is Christy Collier, and I'm with Welcome Home RGV, and we are a marketing company that works specifically with the Winter Texan market. And we have a variety of different things that we do. We publish a weekly newspaper. We host a variety of events, or historically, we have hosted a number of events, including the Winter Texan Expo. And we work very closely with RV parks from South Padre Island all the way to Palmview. And so very closely with the resort managers, the activity directors, and also a lot of interaction with the Winter Texan residents in the RV parks through a wide variety of channels. And this is most definitely going to be a different season for all of us. This is my 13th season, and I'm looking forward to seeing what we're going to do this season.
I know Davis had the first question for you. Go ahead, Davis.
I'm curious to know, Christy, if you have what you've heard from regular winter visitors you communicate with. I'm making an assumption you have personal relationships with at least some of these folks. What have you heard from them in terms of coming, and also the people you do business with, the different parks, the people who cater to winter visitors? What are they saying? What do they expect?
Sure. So I'm very optimistic about the season. I know that our Canadian friends probably won't be joining us, but on the American side, they're still coming. You know, what I hear more often than not is, you know, we can still be safe and practice social distancing, and we'd much rather do that in the sunshine than in the snow. And so I'm feeling pretty good about it. Now, I think that it's going to look a lot different as far as the activities and things that are available to do in the parks. You know, one of the beauties of South Texas is that, you know, in our park communities, you may have a smaller park that doesn't have entertainment, jam sessions, craft sales. Well, those residents are able to go to another park to experience all of those activities. And this year we're finding that the parks will be closed for resident only activities and events. So that's kind of a different twist on things. But overall, I think we're just trying to navigate these waters. We've hosted a Zoom call with a Hidalgo County judge with the resort managers. We have one scheduled for tomorrow with the city of FAR, city of Weslaco on Wednesday, and we're trying to keep everybody organized and let everybody know what the new rules are going to be and how they can get approval on events and activities. But overall, I'm optimistic. I think this being an election year, it's always a slower start to the season. So we'll start seeing people roll in after the election. But I had my first volunteer come and see me just the other day, and he brought me about 7 pounds of Wisconsin cheese. So I'm feeling good.
All
It
right.
pays to be in the know.
Now, are you able to gauge, based on reservations at the parks, are you able to gauge how much lower the population might be, winter Texan population in the valley?
Every park is different. We have some that have a high concentration of our Canadian guests, and of course they're seeing a lot of cancellations. But really, as far as cancellations, the report is it's not going to be quite so bad. Again, because
reminder for the news audience, the cancellations from Canada based on the fact that the Canadian and U.S.-Mexican border closed for the non-essential travel, as the administration say. So the Canadians are stuck back home. They won't be able to travel all the way down here.
Right.
Finish your thought. I'm sorry.
Well, I forgot my thought, but I guess the whole point is I think it is really early to tell. But also keep in mind that reservations are for the RVers per se. So if you have a mobile home or a park model, you have to pay your lot rent year round. So it's really hard to tell on those more permanent units on if they're coming or if they're not. But overall, like I said, I'm optimistic.
10-4. Let me go back to Sue Griffin, RGV Birding Festival. Sue, again, trying to inform the audience that they do various things for a living, all these different professions. So many people are new to the valley as well. What is a birder, Ms. Griffin?
Well, a birder is a person who enjoys the hobby of watching birds. It can be just from watching your backyard birds to getting a degree in ornithology. A birder is a welcome person in the valley because of the opportunities we have here for them to go to so many different places, and they love coming here because of the variety of birds we have.
Go ahead,
I have
Davis.
a question.
I saw that you had to follow. Go ahead.
Well, I have a question for Keith Hackland. The hotel is still in the old Alamo Land and Sugar Company building in downtown Alamo.
We're still using the historic building, and we have another set of buildings at the east end of the square. So we've got about 20 suites.
Are people making reservations, or are they canceling reservations, or what?
Yeah, they're doing both. People are making reservations, and then some are canceling them. What we're finding is that people who can drive here are pretty much holding on to their reservations. But people who were thinking about flying, they're all canceling.
Okay.
Where would they come from, Keith? All these birders that Sue was explaining to us. I understand they come from all parts of the world, and it can be a pretty expensive hobby, and people are dedicated to it. Where would they come from?
Yeah, it can be an expensive hobby. Our number one pin on the map, if you were to put a point of where the most come from, is actually Austin, Texas. But really, we get people from all over. As I say, over 40 different countries, a lot from Europe, a lot from Britain, then Canada and every state in the US. In a normal year, they spend $500 million in the valley, but it's not going to be that this year. We'll probably do a third of that.
Well, Keith, do you think your business, when we're all done, will your business be steady, a little down, maybe a little up? What do you think?
We're going to be significantly down. We'll probably, it's honestly hard to tell because every day we hear people make reservations, other people cancel. But I'm guessing we're going to be about a third or to half of what we would do in a normal year. The summer has been dreadful. We get people coming through, staying into May, but from the middle of March till the end of September, we had one paying guest. Now, since then, it's picked up, but that was pretty scary.
Keith, roughly how many bed and breakfasts and other hosting reservations do we have, properties that we have here in Deep South Texas for the birders? I know they go to some nature reserves as well.
Yeah, we've probably got 30, 35 hotspots that have visitor centers that they go to. Bed and breakfasts, we maybe have half a dozen or less. A lot of birders stay at hotels, South Padre, McAllen, all over the valley, and they visit the valley from the coast up to Falcon Dam because the species change as you go west.
Wow. 21 minutes after the hour, you're listening to a news special on News Talk 710 KURV. We're focusing on nature and winter tourism. We're going to take a quick break. I want to thank our guests joining us today. Sue Griffin on behalf of the RGV Birding Festival. Robert Lopez, we're going to hear from him pretty soon from the McAllen Convention Visitors Bureau. You just heard Keith Hackland. He's owner of Alamo Inn and an expert in Texas birding and, of course, the hosting businesses of bed and breakfast. And Christy Collier from Welcome Home RGV. I'm Sergio Sanchez along with Davis Rankin and the KURV crew. Any questions or comments that you may have, you are welcome to post those at 710 KURV Facebook Live. You can also email me, Sergio at KURV.com. A very big thank you to our supporters make this full hour program possible. Bert Ogden and Fiesta Dealerships and BertOgden.com.
It's open enrollment season, and MediShare is a Christian healthcare sharing ministry that saves most families about $500 a month. Google MediShare and see if it's a fit for you.
Jeff Malden, Bert Ogden Subaru.
We pride ourselves in providing the safest and cleanest environment for our customers and for our employees. We have our facilities cleaned 3 times a week when we're closed in the evenings. We've got very strict protocols on masks. We take all employees and customers' temperatures when they come in. They're submitted to a questionnaire to make sure that they haven't had any symptoms, haven't felt sick, haven't been around anybody that's been exposed. We want to make sure that we're protecting not only our consumers, but our employees. We make sure that we wipe down the surfaces of all of our common touch points, handles, doors, desk areas, things like that, before and after every transaction, as well as constantly throughout the day. We've got dedicated staff that's all they do. On top of that, we put in the protective measures in cars when we're taking them in for service, bringing them back. We sanitize the interiors of the car before our techs get in them and before they're returned to our consumers. So we want to make sure that we're providing them the cleanest, safest environment for them to get their work. We value the trust that they put in us, and we want to make sure that we're doing everything that we can to protect them.
When you go to BertOgden.com, take us through the process. What do we see? How do we choose?
Well, the first thing you want to do is once you're at the website, you can select the manufacturer that you're interested in, and we've got all of our brands represented there. Once you've done that, you're allowed to select the new and used vehicles within that franchise. You can sort them by equipment. You can sort them by trim levels, models. When you select a specific vehicle that you're interested in, that's where you get the options to value your trades, get pre-approved, and start the financing process. All along the way, you'll have an opportunity to have a digital chat. We've got assistance available 24/7 to aid customers in finding the right vehicle and answering any questions throughout the process. Our team of specialists will reach out to them either via email or phone based on their preference, and continue to answer questions and guide them through the process if they've got any issues or any questions.
Choose the brand and choose your vehicle at BertOgden.com.
710 KURV, streaming live at KURV.com. Powered by Texas Mutual Workers Compensation Insurance, a policyholder-owned company. Work safe, Texas.
25 minutes after the hour, you're listening to a special report, News Talk 710 KURV. We're focusing on nature and winter tourism. We've gathered a handful of local experts when it comes to birding and butterfly festivals, nature tourism, and also convention and visitors work. And let me go back to Davis real quick. I know he's going to lob a quick intro to Robert Lopez.
Yeah, I have a question for Robert Lopez, who is with the McAllen Chambers Convention and Visitors Bureau. What's the status of heads in beds this summer? What do you think? What do you think going into the fall, or how far?
Yeah.
I don't know how far ahead you can predict.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it breaks my heart hearing stories like Keith just mentioned about his bed and breakfast because April, May, and June were the worst months McAllen has probably ever seen as far as hotel occupancy. I mean, and across the nation, it wasn't just specific to McAllen. In a kind of fortunate for our hotels change. July, August, September really picked up, and in fact, I shared this information with our chamber board in August. In August, McAllen had the highest occupancy in the entire country. There was only 2 weeks where we did not have the highest occupancy, and Houston and Baton Rouge took the lead in those weeks, and that was because of the hurricanes that they were having, and everyone was evacuated to the hotels. But McAllen led in that, and in fact, the first 9 months of 2020, McAllen is number one in hotel demand. I mean, the U.S. average, as Keith mentioned, U.S. average down 36%. McAllen is the least in bad shape overall, with down 9.5%, and so we're leading demand change, revenue change down 14.2%, but the U.S. average is down 48%. And then occupancy is the number of people are most familiar with. U.S. average is down 33%. McAllen's down 12.3%. Now, I wish they were all birders. I wish they were all leisure travelers from Mexico. I wish
it was a different type of storm.
I wish they were, but unfortunately, it was due to the influx of healthcare providers that were visiting McAllen to offer support for the COVID-19 pandemic, and we also had some National Guard in town also providing support for testing and other things like that. Now, so it's not the typical guest we would like to have, but it really saved a lot of our hotels and allowed them to keep their doors open. So as we hope to come out of this, people have jobs, hotels are open, and so those are some interesting stats, because it's not often that McAllen beats every market, even the top 25 markets, and is number one in occupancy.
If there's any booking or significant booking into 2021?
Well, I think the main concern right now is just getting the leisure travel from Mexico, the bridge open for welcoming leisure travel from Mexico. That's the one thing that probably represents about 30% of McAllen's hotel business. Its weekend business probably represents about 1/3 of our retail sales. So that's a solid foundation that we have. Our Monday through Thursday business is the business traveler. A lot of that has to do with the Maquila business that we have with Reynosa. And so, we have a strong partnership with our neighbors to the south. And when things aren't flowing, the hotels aren't seeing that business that they need to. Now, going into the rest of the year, we'll see how that works out. Hopefully, November 21st, we hear some good news from Customs and Border Protection. But in the meantime, we're just trying to do everything we can. Now, I do think that once things start to clear up, just as birding and nature right now and being outdoors are the attractions that people are looking for, we're going to look at our sports tourism, our youth sports tourism market to really provide a bounce back when we do come back, because that has been our fastest growing segment in the tourism industry. And so kids want to play, parents want the kids to play. That'll do it.
All right. Thank you.
What is the plan for Christmas? McAllen being, as we self-designated ourselves, City Hall has, we are the unofficial or official South Pole of Texas, and we've got a big Christmas parade that is only going to be on TV, and we had that big attraction, the Christmas attraction at the convention center. So what's the plan now for Christmas to create a family activity that would draw in some tourism?
Yeah, definitely. McAllen's been known for having top of the line festivities for during the holidays, and there still will be. The good thing about the convention center campus is that there's a lot of outdoor space. It's not just the building itself, and so the city hasn't announced it yet, but I believe they have a press conference next week about they're going to do a 40 days of Christmas, and they're going to have a lot of great festivities that they're going to continue to announce. And so I don't know those things. I like to be surprised myself. But they do have, as they announced, the kind of a parade route for their for their Christmas, part of their Christmas facilities around Oval Park. But they have programming laid out, and I'm excited to hear what they have to announce.
Will it be mostly outdoor activities? Because that's a very big.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
okay.
Yes. Outdoor festivities, using the festival grounds, using all the space available around Oval Park, and even utilizing the parking lots. And so, if there's one thing McAllen knows how to do is get creative and use the resources they have available. And I'm excited to see what the Convention Facilities Department has planned, because I know it'll be great.
Robert Lopez, Director, Convention Visitors Bureau in McAllen, along with Sue Griffin, RGV Birding Festival. We'll continue to hear from her. Keith Hackland, the Texas birding expert and owner of Alamo Inn. They cater, it's a bed and breakfast that caters to birders, tourists who love birds and love catching up with birds and chronicling in the little journals with the birds that they see. Christy Collier, welcome home, RGV. She's an expert in winter Texan business, and you are welcome to send any comments to Facebook Live, 710 KURV Facebook Live. You're listening to a KURV special report or focused nature and winter tourism. Yes, under COVID-19. I'm Sergio Sanchez along with Davis Rankin and the KURV crew. A very big thank you to Bird Ogden and Fiesta Dealerships and birdogden.com for today's special news presentation. Let me lob it over to Tim Sullivan and get some of the day's news. It's 4:32, News Talk 710 KURV live on Facebook, also on Classic 92.7 FM, South Padre.
Top and bottom of the hour news. This is News Talk 710 KURV.
4:32 on News Talk 710 KURV. Good afternoon. I'm Tim Sullivan. Louisiana bracing for dangerous flooding from Hurricane Zeta. The storm has made landfall as a Category 2. Winds are up to 100 miles an hour and already causing power outages and damage along the Louisiana Gulf Coast. Calmer weather is helping Southern California firefighters beat back 2 wildfires that drove nearly 100,000 people from their homes amid fierce winds. Authorities have lifted some evacuation orders as winds subside and the containment increased for the massive wildfires in the brushy hills of Orange County. 2 firefighters who battled one of the blazes remain, though, in critical condition after suffering 2nd and 3rd degree burns. A former Trump administration official who penned a scathing anti-Trump op-ed and book under the pen name Anonymous is making his identity public. Miles Taylor, a former chief of staff at the Department of Homeland Security, has since been an outspoken critic of Trump's in recent months. Taylor's anonymous essay was published in 2018 by the New York Times. Throngs of people who attended a campaign rally held by President Trump at a Nebraska airport had to wait in frigid weather for hours after it ended before they could get back to their cars. Most had parked in lots a mile or 2 from the airport and were shuttled into the event on buses last night, but shuttle buses were not able to return to the airport as traffic snarled and hundreds of people wandered into the streets trying to get back to their cars. 60 people are charged in a widespread magazine telemarketing scam that authorities say netted $300 million for more than 150,000 elderly people nationwide. Minnesota U.S. Attorney Erica McDonald called it the largest elder fraud scheme in the country. Court documents say over the last 20 years, they used a network of fake magazine sales companies and telemarketing call centers to trick people into making large or repeat payments. The coronavirus pandemic weighing heavy on the minds of investors today, and the Dow Jones closed down today 943 points. NASDAQ lost 426. S&P 500 dropped 119. Your 710 KURV exclusive AccuWeather forecast. Mostly clear and chilly tonight. Upper Valley lows, mid-40s. Mostly sunny, warmer, still breezy tomorrow. Highs from 76 to 80. Lows tomorrow night will be around 50. Right now it's 71 at 710 KURV. News at the top and bottom of the hour and when it breaks and on demand at KURV.com. I'm Tim Sullivan, 710 KURV.
It's open enrollment season, and MediShare is a Christian healthcare sharing ministry that saves most families about $500 a month. Google MediShare and see if it's a fit for you.
Jeff Malden, Bird Ogden Subaru, and Volvo. Let's talk about the Volvo brand. Start to finish, you can go to birdogden.com, click on that specific brand, and then do the deep dive and go see pictures of all the different vehicles that you take off the truck.
Correct. And I mean, once you've selected your vehicle, there's an opportunity there for you to buy online or buy now. When you collect that button, it gives you payment calculations. It gives you an opportunity to look at warranty products and other insurance products to protect the vehicle's windshield or tires and wheels. Also gives you an opportunity to input your current vehicle information for a trade-in and give you a value for that. And then you're able to input your own credit information if you know your credit score. That allows you to then calculate either a lease or a purchase payment. Allows you to select the amount of down payment that you want to use. And if you're comfortable with that number, then it allows you to take the next step to actually a complete credit application and formally submit the application to a lender for approval. Within a matter of minutes, you'll get a response back with an interest rate and an exact approval. And at that point, we reach out to the customers from the dealership standpoint, contact them, congratulate them on their purchase, and find out if they want to come in and finalize the paperwork at our store, or if they want us to bring the vehicle to them. It's pretty straightforward. It's extremely convenient. Like I said before, many customers are now choosing to take that option and alleviate the hours that they have to spend at a conventional dealership during a conventional transaction.
You take so many detailed pictures and provide so much detail on the amenities and the creature comforts that are available in the vehicles.
Oh, yeah. The average vehicle we've got posted online has anywhere from 40 to 50 pictures. And a lot of times you can even merge those all together into a video. So it gives you kind of a full action motion. You're able to see a detailed description of the vehicle to make sure that it's got all of the components. And in many cases, you're able to click on a link that will show you the full window sticker. So you can make sure that specific packages and option groups that you're looking for are included on the vehicle that you're interested in. We've got online consultants via chat or via email that can answer any questions and ensure that the vehicle that the customer selected is in fact exactly what they want, what they need, and has all of the equipment that's important to them.
With locations in Edinburgh and Mission, Jeff Malden is General Manager of Bird Ogden Subaru, Mazda, and Kia. Visit BertOgden.com.
Be informed, be ready, be safe with Tropical Coverage 2020, powered by Mike's Plumbing, Electrical, and AC. Click Twins and News Talk 710 KURV.
Time is 4:38. You're listening to a KURV news special, Nature and Winter Tourism. We want to welcome our family at Classic 92.7 FM, Cameron County, South Padre Island. Our guests on behalf of Rio Grande Valley Birding and Nature Tourism. One of them is Sue Griffin, Rio Grande Birding Festival. Sue, could you explain to folks, describe the Birding Festival? I know it was supposed to be your 27th year this year. What was it, a collection of authors, seminars, charter bus tours? How long was it? Describe for me the Birding Festival.
The festival is a 6-day festival starting on Wednesday and ending on Sunday. Each day we send out 8 buses and 42 vans full of people. We go to 92 different locations within the Rio Grande Valley. In the afternoons, we have 2 speakers each afternoon. And each evening we have a special event, either a speaker or something that features the culture of our area for all of our visitors. We normally have about 600 people that come down, and it is an economic impact to the area of about $3 million. None of that will happen this year.
Yeah. Is it a twice a year event, since we have the migratory season is twice yearly?
It's actually just once a year. We do a fall. At one time, there were some other festivals in the Rio Grande Valley that were doing spring festivals. Wesley Co. now does a all-encompassing festival that is limited to, I believe it's 100 participants each spring during spring migration.
Davis, I know you had a follow-up question for Ms. Sue.
Yeah, this will sound hostile, but it's not. For people who are not birders, what is the draw that makes people spend money to come down here and ride around looking at birds when they can look at birds in their own backyard?
Well, I'm
I
glad you
guess.
asked that question. The Rio Grande Valley has what we call our specialty birds. We explain this by showing a map of Texas and Mexico. And if you look at that map, the Rio Grande Valley is further south than 1/3 of Mexico. So when the Mexican birds begin to move around, and maybe like our Western fires, they need to move to a new location, they're not going to cross the mountains that are to the south or to the west. They're going to come east to the Rio Grande Valley. So we are known for having vagrants from Mexico and people who are birders that like to make a list of the birds they've seen, want to get those birds on their list for the United States. So we have about 25 of those specialty birds that not only are vagrants from Mexico, but they can't be seen anywhere else in the United States except South Texas.
I checked the website, Serge, and they're already promoting 2021. A lot of sponsors. A lot of sponsors.
Yes, we do have a lot of wonderful vendors and sponsors that help us put on the festival. Our budget is quite large.
2020. What's the 2021 date that you're hoping to hit?
I believe that is November 10th through the 15th.
Yes. 10th to the 14th.
14th. And we always offer a pre-trip to somewhere in Texas and a post-trip, usually to somewhere in Mexico.
I'm wondering if perhaps we could pick up some more folks from, I don't know, the Rio Grande Valley, maybe discover something new since folks are not doing much traveling or vacationing. Maybe we can keep some of the expenditures local and discover the local beauty that we see on a yearly basis. Keith Hackland, he's with the Alamo Inn. He's an expert in Texas birding as well, part of that association. As far as bed and breakfast and hosting facilities, Keith, do y'all belong to an association where you're talking with each other and maybe looking at Plan B, where you could, I don't know, maybe gin up a local base of birders and create a local base of birders and fill up those bed and breakfasts that have gone empty this summer?
Yeah, we talk to a lot of people. We're in touch with a lot of birders, and local people tend not to stay in a hotel except at South Padre, and that's where they like to stay. And then they'll do some birding there too. And South Padre just has it's the magnet for birds and for birders. Although the rest of the valley is great as well, really great as well. So we're looking at doing more work online. This is probably a long-term change in tourism. So we're getting close to launching an online service for birders where they can travel through videos that we shoot here, and we get people around the world, guides who are no longer guiding. We're getting them to shoot videos.
Hey, Serge, I don't think
locals should.
I don't know whether this draws people particularly, but if I remember right, Keith Hackland's building is the old Alamo Land and Sugar Company building from 100 years ago, and it's made out of 2 double brick walls with a space in between them. It's like a fortress, apparently.
Yeah, it is. It is. It doesn't keep the heat out, but it keeps everything else out. It's a lovely old building. It just turned 100 last year, and we love it.
I think it's the only one in the valley.
But it is quite charming. Just an example of the hospitality and the different type of hospitality folks can experience at bed and breakfast, as couples should consider that, visiting some of the bed and breakfast in the area, and even some of the nature reserves, bed and breakfast out there that are going without some of these international birders. Go there and discover some of these nature reserves in South Texas. You're listening to a special report, Nature Winter Tourism, KURV. A big thank you to Bird Ogden and Fiesta Dealerships and birdogden.com for providing us this program today. Back to Christy Collier from Welcome Home RGV. That is a Winter Texan product. What do you see as far as local economic leaders, Christy, luring a different type of winter Texan, maybe bringing them down from San Antonio and from other places, come and see us for the first time? And what do you think they should be doing different in order to advertise this area to get that tourism down here?
Sure. The one thing that I think is kind of exciting is that RV sales are on the rise. They're higher than they've been in a long time. And so I think we're breeding this whole new generation of winter Texans. And, I hear a lot of chatter online and socially, et cetera. And part of what we do is we send out area information to anyone who requests it. And we've seen an increase in the number of requests for area information, which is really exciting to me. And I think that without the opportunity to have events for Winter Texans, the Winter Texan Expo, for example, people who have relied heavily on event-based opportunities to interact with our Winter Texans, it's going to be a little bit more challenging. I know a lot of the parks are not opening their facilities to in-park expos and things like that. So it's going to be a challenge. And, the message is that there's still going to be a lot of winter business to be had. Okay. You just have to work even harder for it than before. And so part of that is staying relevant and providing great customer service. We do trainings on how to market to winter Texans and things of that nature. And, for any business owner out there is, winter Texans choose Texas for a variety of different reasons. Of course, the economy, the proximity to Mexico, the proximity to the island, but equally as important as all of those things is the friendliness of our people, and that the fact that we want our winter Texans here, seeing signs all over the place. We love winter Texans, welcome winter Texans, all of that is so important to the winter Texan lifestyle. They feel very much a part of who we are. And what I try and tell them is that they have molded us into who we are. It's the Mutual Admiration Society. So they feel very welcome here. And the other point that I wanted to say is, the Valley is blessed with so many different outdoor activities and attractions, and birding and butterflies is a huge portion of that. And so I really do think it might be kind of fun to do some, because not all winter Texans and not all retirees are into birds, but, it might be kind of fun to maybe do something to encourage our winter visitors to birding 101, something along those lines, to keep them active and outside, because, there is going to be, it's going to be different in the park. And so highlighting things that you can do outside is a priority for us this season. And, can I answer your question?
Are the park owners going to be, you think they'll be cooperative in having, maybe Keith Ackland or whomever come and say, hey, come take a look at us, or go with us, or whatever pitch they want to make for bird watching?
Well, if not,
that would be a nice escape.
Yeah, Keith, I'd love to video you. Let's blast it out into the digital atmosphere. I think that sounds like a lot of fun. And the other point that I wanted to make is, winter's going to be different everywhere. The Valley is not alone in this, and so I think that our winter visitors are getting accustomed to having to do things differently. And one of my park owners said he's actually excited to be able to sit back and evaluate what activities are really still relevant anymore. Take this opportunity to say, well, we've always done it this way, but do we need to continue doing that? So
do we still play shuffleboard down here?
Morning, you were rattling off more than just shuffleboard. You were rattling off a whole bunch of ideas, different things that winter Texans can do. You started at the beach and you moved out other activities. There's a lot of things for folks to do down here. And now with the bed and breakfast that are doing without business, I could see how you at Welcome Home RGV, Texas Birding, and other folks, you guys lock arms, hold hands, and maybe segue some of that winter Texan business over to the bed and breakfast, because it's very charming. It's a wonderful, beautiful getaway at some of these nature reserves. in South Texas. Keith, let me come back to you real quick. Keith Hackland, he's a Texas birding expert. You mentioned that the economic impact is about $500 million. This birding, nature tourism that we see in South Texas. It's amazing just to try to wrap our brain around that number. That's the multiplier, the $500 million impact. Do you happen to remember how much the average birder spends or would spend when they would come down here and go bird hunting or looking for birds, not bird hunting, looking for birds? The average that each birder would spend, Keith, you still there?
He's muted.
I think
I'll fix that.
Oh,
yeah, I don't recall that number. It is out there in the study. Sue might recall it, but it's fairly substantial, especially when people are staying in hotels. So it's probably something like 1,500. If we divide 200,000 into 500,000, that gives us a rough idea. That's the number of people I estimate in a good year will be birding down here. Some of them are winter Texans.
Can you say that again? How many people would come down here in a good year, Keith? Say that again.
200,000. That's based on studies that Santa Ana have done over the years, and Santa Ana almost always gets over 100,000 visitors in a year when they've looked at those studies, when they've done them.
Well, hopefully we can get back to that sometime in the near future. Robert, I want to bring you in for a quick comment on the concerts and special activities and conventions that we haven't seen as a result of COVID-19. Have you had a chance to gauge just on the convention side? They even converted the convention center to one of those makeshift health facilities there for a while, and I know that kind of hurts business as well. Your calendar, Robert, where are you filling the calendar? 2021, 22? What does it look like down the road for actual convention work that brings in the traditional business for convention and visitors bureau?
Yeah. We've had to cancel 35 events, due to COVID. About $15 million in economic impact, 18,000 room nights, and so. The caveat is that everything that we're working on and we're booking now is for 2022, 23, and 3, 4, 5 years out. And so the stuff that's happening in 2021, well, we booked that stuff 3 years ago. And so now we're just managing those relationships, answering any concerns that people might have. It's just the visitors or the associations are a little hypersensitive. But again, like Christy alluded to, it's not unique to McAllen. They're dealing with this all the other destinations that they're looking at for conventions. And so what makes McAllen unique is, and again, Christy hits on a lot of the same things that I do, is that we come together as a community. People come here for the people. They know they're taken care of, and they're not just another number. And so I really feel that in challenges like this lie opportunities if you can find them. And the opportunity lies in being able to attract a convention that might not have come to McAllen because we offer superior service. We can offer the great hospitality, and then of course offer great weather year round to do outdoor activities that are COVID friendly.
Carol posted something on our site. I think the quick answer might be no. They do. There's these associations that fill up the special events center, the beautiful concert hall there in McAllen. No concerts. We're not expecting any concerts until we clear the COVID season and get the vaccine and all that, right? There's nothing taking place at the special events center, right?
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like the Broadway shows, for example, at the Performing Arts Center, they have certain booking windows where they have to book, during this time for their season. And so that might not happen this year. And, I know the convention center is getting creative on how to use their space and how to make these interactive events so that they're still front of mind with people and still provide the quality of life that our citizens are accustomed to.
Sure. All right. Well, we got about a couple minutes left, and I'm going to give about 30 seconds for each of our guests for any closing final thoughts. I'll start with you, Robert, if you have any parting thoughts. Real quick, 30 seconds.
Yeah, first of all, I'd just like to say thank you to be on this panel with the experts in their field. Keith is a legend. Christy no one knows the winter Texan market better. And The RGV Birding Festival, Sue, is a first-class event. So just thank you for having me. And what I'd like to say to the audience is, when you feel comfortable traveling again, please travel and visit that place that you've always wanted to go and be part of the economic recovery of the tourism industry.
Thank you for joining us today, Robert. Best of luck to you. Keep in touch. On behalf of the Rio Grande Valley Birding Festival, Sue Griffin, quick second, 30-second final thoughts from you, Sue.
Well, thank you. Again, I've enjoyed being on the program today, but I would like to leave with this message. Although we are not having our regular birding festival this year, we will be having a virtual festival that will take place November the 11th through the 13th. And we invite people to go to our Facebook page and our web page to get more information.
Keith, I'm going to give you about 15, 20 seconds to say good night. What do you want to say, Keith?
Yeah, thank you. What I'm going to say is the Valley will come back with a boom. Our birds are so unique. People can't wait to get back here. It's going to get way good very soon.
All right, Christy, 15, 20 seconds. Final goodbye. What do you want to say, Christy?
I just want to say that we're all in this together, and I think that, we're all great partners, and we just need to help each other out along the way. And I also want to say this gives us a great opportunity to visit some of our sister communities. Take a trip to Brownsville, go to downtown Harlingen, do some shopping downtown McAllen. We have opportunities to get out there.
And thank you, folks. Thank you so much for joining us today. This is News Talk 710 KURV. Jeff Malden from Bird Ogden, Subaru. Because of COVID-19, I'm sure some of our seasoned citizens, they don't want to see anybody. So just tell me the process, how they can get a brand new Subaru, no touch.
Well, we've got our digital retailing aspect, so you can actually pick your vehicle online.